Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Sunny Coast's very own podcast called The Referral Wave. My name's Tony Cross, and by day I've got a car brokering business called Drive Connect. But at the moment, we're doing a series on our podcast of all the speakers and sponsors from the national conference that was on in May down in Manly in Sydney. And today I'm joined by Pip, and welcome along from Premier Training. Great to have you down there. So it's great to have you on to help explain to the members on the Sunny Coast what it's all about.
No, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me along. It's an absolute pleasure to join you.
Righto. Well, let's firstly talk about you and a bit of BNI. What chapter you're in? Where are you located? How long you been in BNI?
Thank you. So I'm in BNI Thrive. So we're in Newcastle, New South Wales. I live about personally 45 minutes north. Is in the Hunter Valley, which is nice in the wine region. And I've started the renewal process for I believe my fifth year. So Premier Team Building, we're coming into our fifth year being part of the BNI world.
Yeah, fantastic. And what led you to joining BNI in the first place?
I was looking for that next step. I had a very mixed engagement with BNI over years, but once I met my original chapter and I saw that people were genuinely interested in supporting my personal and business development, I realized that as a solo entrepreneur at that point, I needed to be around more smarter than me people, and it was a logical decision to get that support network.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, going back to Brisbane, I know you had a brief on the stage in Sydney, but let's go back to Brisbane. And I think you said Cairns was your first conference, but you have actually taken the stage as a guest speaker for BNI. Tell us what that's like, setting up in front of all those people.
Yeah, it was amazing. The public speaking's relatively natural within my line of work. I'm always speaking in front of people, so on that level, it wasn't daunting. But to be able to share my knowledge and to have that caliber of audience want to hear from me, it was a gift in that sense. So the end of the Brisbane conference, I was the final speaker, so there was nobody after me. I was stopping those from going out for that adult drink at the end. But to see the number of people there who want to listen, it was an honor for me to have their trust. And I would honestly, if you have any business passion and knowledge, which if you're in BNI, you do, apply. Like, why not? Worst case, they say no. Best case, they say yes. Like it's a worthwhile endeavor.
Yeah, correct. And you make a good point that BNI throw open the applications for sponsors and also for speakers. So they draw, obviously, they get a keynote speaker in, like they had Peter and Phil Berg, but the rest of the days is made up of BNI members speaking about what they do. And as I said to you before we started, one of the messages we're trying to get across to people on the coast is that you don't go down there just to get your shot of BNI. It arguably doesn't have a great lot to do with BNI because you're there listening to successful BNI people about their businesses and how you can develop your business and personally.
You're spot on. And the amount of knowledge that the speakers give you, you know, it's it's an amazing opportunity to really develop personally and professionally. Everybody who spoke the past, I've been going 3 years now for the conferences. They're always so giving with information that if you're willing to listen, learn, and implement what they're recommending, your business is going to improve. And it's not preach BNI, it's preach build a bigger business. How can we support each other? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I was talking to a lady yesterday who was down there and she'd only just got back to look through like the workbook and a few of her notes and that she was taken. And she said, I actually hadn't realized how much the speakers had given away, and how much knowledge and everything they'd sort of empowered us with. She said, I was completely blown away when I went back through and looked over my notes. So, yeah, so that's fantastic. Look, tell us a bit about Premier Team Building.
Yeah, thank you. So Premier Team Building, we focus on the entire ecosystem of team building. So that's leadership, culture, and teams. we just like using play as a modality to teach teams, leaders, and individuals. Ultimately, we have a lot of fun helping individuals build better teams, strengthen their leadership capabilities as a solo entrepreneur to, global organizations, and then support them on building successful cultures. And if you've ever been in a great BNI chapter, which I imagine if you're still in it, you are, you know how culture is so important for your success, your motivation. So that's what we do, but we play with a lot of Lego and other toys to, really bring it to a practical, in-depth level. And, we're based in New South Wales, but we service clients around the world. And I get to travel and play with, I said, we do a lot of Lego programs, and I get to play for a living and help people be better leaders and teams.
That sounds like a great job. You had me at Lego. The about the size, I mean, is there a size you go down to, size you go up to? Where does it sort of fit?
Yeah, definitely. So, and anyone who's true BNI will hate this. We're industry agnostic. And so when I do say anyone, we mean anyone. Currently we're working with some solo entrepreneurs who are in the process of building their leadership capabilities, who are building their culture because they want to start bringing people in. So we go from teams of one to, thousands. A couple of years ago, we did over 600 people at once for a giant Lego program. But there's more people at that company. And so, Google's a client, the Defense Force, all the way down to that small local tradie who's just starting out but has a vision. We're there to help you grow.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially I know in BNI, because there's a lot of people join BNI to build up their business. And you see it lots, and I'm sure you would have seen it more than myself, but they start off one or two, and before you know it, they're growing and they're turning up to chapter meetings, not so much asking for referrals, but saying, hey, does anyone know where I get this employment contract from? Or does anyone know anything about this? So it's good to know that in your company, as you said, you mentioned a couple of top tier firms there that you already work with, but that can also just be brought down to tradie level, just so he gets the process right moving forward, because you see it messed up a lot, right?
Great. And it's not rocket surgery, as I like to tell people. If you get it right from the beginning, it's easier and cheaper in the long run. So, when you look at these other big companies who are investing with us or in similar things, don't say you can't afford it, because you can't not afford to invest in your culture, teams, and leadership, because it's going to drive everything you do.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. Otherwise, it just, yeah, it costs you down the track when you've got to unravel sticky situations or, add things in that you might not have got right in the first place. So, no, look, fantastic advice there. Thanks for sharing with us. Let's jump back to the conference. I want you to give your version of events in the exhibitors hall where everyone has lunch and everything, and just let's talk us through what that gathering's like in those sort of sessions.
Yeah, it's amazing. Every year is different. Every venue is different, but the focus is getting people to connect, see the different exhibitors, and it's different than any other trade show because we all have the exact same underlying goals. We know that behind everything it is BNI, and so that we know it's givers gain, it's building those relationships, it's that know, like, and trust. So you know that every person you meet has that same core basic understanding. So being there, people walk out of the conference, they grab their food, and then they're just all about meeting new individuals, asking those important questions. How can I help you? Who's a good introduction? It's always, what can one another do for the other person? And people are so genuine about wanting to help, finding ways to support you. I remember this year, I think I walked out, I did the mega meeting, and one of the days there was 100 members or something. I think I walked out with over 7 referrals to members. And it's just like, yeah, you ask them, like, I know that person, I can make that intro, I can help that. And so I don't know of any other conference that you can go to where you can say, I'm looking for this. The person kind of goes, oh yeah, they're over here. Let me go introduce you. Or like, oh yeah, I'll make that phone call now. It just makes sense to go there. It's your chapter meeting on steroids and then some, and just everyone's there to help. amazing.
You're 100% right. I had, Shabani, obviously, from Western Australia.
Love them.
Um, right. So I got talking to him, and I've met him in Brisbane last year. I got talking to him, and he said, where you at? What are you chasing? Anyway, we got talking about cars and, importing cars from Japan, things like that. Next thing you know, he's got his phone out and he's ringing this guy in Japan and putting him on the phone. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for the help. I didn't really want you to like ring the dude right now and hook it all up, but and it happened numerous times. The people you often got asked that, where are you from? What are you doing? How can I help you? And yeah, I was totally blown away.
And the thing that I
So
absolutely love is people get pulled away. Like you grab somebody, you're like, oh, sorry, I need them. And you don't mind because you know that they're about to be a referral done. You're like, oh, yeah, you go have the conversation. We'll follow up later. Like people don't mind that interruption because they know there's good value there.
I found that I just seemed like there wasn't enough time to be mingling around outside, and even going out to dinner of a night. We went out for dinner with some people from Brisbane, and so you're making contacts the whole time. But in those in between the sessions, yeah, I found like I was just getting herded back in the room quickly.
Mm.
And yeah, but anyway, that's what it's all about. Just making contacts. A million follow-ups. I think in my chapter last week, I think I still had 9 one-to-ones last week. I think still getting through people. So that's good. So
So
as a sponsor, what do you try to get out of it? I know there's leads and everything like that, but you obviously enjoy doing the sponsor side of it, and meeting those contacts. Just talk us through what it's like being a sponsor there.
yeah, so there's different tiers of level investments, but the very basics, you get a booth. Your branding is in different slides. This year we did lucky door prizes. You got up on stage to talk about the prize. You get invited to the big wigs dinner as well, and you get to stand up and say who you are, what you do, and I mean that's to all the directors across Australia. So you're talking to the top tier, and then you get the ability to put stuff into every person's goodie bag. So you have that connection. But for me, over the years, I've been able just to elevate my credibility, my reputation. People now see me in a different light than when they first, saw me because they didn't know who I was in the space. But now 3 years in, the trust people have, it's amazing. My confidence in what I do has grown. I learned so much. I'm always amazed at where my new leads come from at the conference. It's just there's so much visibility on a national level because they put you on the socials as well. So even if you're a small maybe a tradie who just services the Sunny Coast, you're getting your video and your promos on the BNI platform. They're putting it out there, and you don't know who's going to see that locally or who knows people locally to you. It's a great marketing opportunity that I wish more people took up.
Yeah, I always say to people in chapters on DC for on the coast, don't be shy of talking to people interstate because after COVID, nearly everyone knows someone that moved to or bought an investment property on the Sunshine Coast. Like,
it, that's what I tell everyone. Whenever someone's like, "Well, I only service here," my license makes me exclusive here, whatever it is. My question is always, do you know somebody who lives in a different state? I'm like, of course I do. Well, then by that
yeah,
logic alone, they know somebody in a different state. So then you know that everybody there knows someone somewhere else. So there's a good opportunity that someone's mom or dad lives where you live and they have that leaky roof and they don't know who to talk to. And if you don't go to the conference, you're not replacing that roof. That's how I look at it.
yeah. Well, there you go, folks. Coming from a professional himself, that's such. I'm going to use that one. I always say to people, how many people outside your chapter know who you are? And when they answer no one, I say, well, you can't. It can't be really the BNI system, can it? Like,
Exactly.
there's 6,800 people or something in BNI, and there's probably numbers you might know, but what's the average of amount of friends in a circle that people have? If you pull it out.
Oh, the older you get, the less it is. It's like the closer. I think it's like it's under 12 close friends. The older you get, so your network shrinks down more and more. So yeah, you're right. And so you've got to leverage these things.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, so you talked about the goodie bag, so you put the seeds in there, right?
I did, yes.
And yeah, we had seeds in Brisbane as well, and I haven't. I'll see if I can get mine in there. I haven't planted mine yet, but and I think it's fantastic. Talk us through your process of putting seeds in the bags for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. So one of our big programs or topics we use, it's all around the science of leadership and the ecology of culture. And the ecology of culture was my final talk in Brisbane. The way that we like to talk about leadership teams and culture, it's we use the term ecosystem. So for us, we lean heavily into outdoor sciences to help people understand, that if you allow weeds to grow, it's going to take over. It's more work rather than plucking them out one at a time. So we lean heavily into that. And so to really make that impact, we decide to give away seeds to clients, to friends, and also to BNI. It's good for the environment. They are an Australian native. They're the crimson bottle brush. They match our brand red as well. But it also brings everybody back when that tree grows. They have that memory of where did I get that from? That's right. We got that from this program, this speaker, and it was all about this. And it's that emotional memory anchor that we use to just instill what it is we do. And so we've been using the seeds now for a couple of years, and people absolutely love it. This year we went a little bit larger. Other years we had like a little matchstick case. It was really confusing. Those
Yeah.
we had to explain like they're not matches. I'm like, oh, that's cool. People took them to plant with their kids and others, so it just became a really unique, memorable thing for us to use, and I love it.
I like the matchbox because everyone that I was sitting with in Brisbane pulled them out and went, "Why the hell would they give away matches to people?" So it become an instant talking point, right? Why these people were giving away matches till they worked out what it was, obviously, and then your talk with the video. I can remember the weeds growing up through it all. So, but I thought that was a good way to get everyone talking. So, look. I ask everyone that's on the podcast this thing, what's the one core value of BNI that resonates with you?
Hmm. Recognition. I think that one is a so that really resonates with me, and not on a individual sense, but on a collective. When I look out, I find a lot of us in business, we don't get the opportunity to be recognized a lot of times, a lot of hard work. And BNI gives us that ability to be recognized weekly through other facets to really remind us that we are doing a good job. And I think for a lot of business owners, we need that reassurance from someone besides our spouse who's going to tell us that we're awesome, hopefully, anyways. But for me, that's that recognition that's really powerful to drive a lot of business owners.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Look, so in wrapping up, have you got any final words you want to give to anyone just about coming along to the conference in
Mm.
Melbourne next year
Um,
in May?
go to the conference. It's I don't see a valid reason not to, besides I can't, or finances, family reason, whatever it is. The value there is amazing. If if you attend, you're going to be a better business owner, more inspired, and you never know where that dream referral might come from. So, step outside your bubble, just go.
Yeah, excellent. Now, where can we find out? Give us your website and everything so we can find out a bit more about Premier
Yeah, fantastic.
Training.
So, premierteambuilding.com.au, one big words. Look for our wolf logo as well. You can find us there. You can also look us up through the BNI Connect as well, Premier Team Building. And Pip is my name, PIP, and I'd love to connect with any members looking to, develop their teams or how to leverage the BNI, conferences.
And if you're in the Hunter Valley doing a wine tour, you can go to a BNI we've just worked out.
100%. We'd absolutely love to have you along. We're nearly breaking the 50-person mark. I think we're getting pretty close. So we'd love to have you come along and experience our little group.
No worries at all. Well, look, thanks for giving up your time today. I know you're extremely busy, got a lot going on, but fantastic to be on, and I'm sure everyone got something out of this. And hopefully, we get a few more sunny coasters down there and catch up with you in Melbourne.